Hello friends, and welcome back to Safe at Homestead. I am so excited to have you here with me this week. This video is in collaboration with Jess from Roots and Refuge. She has asked content creators to share their favorite tried and true books for the modern homesteader. The reason being that AI or artificial intelligence is being used to write books. And the accuracy of some of these books is in question. Sometimes it's even dangerous, the information that they're disseminating. And so for that reason, we are going to be sharing books that we've used for a long time, books that we trust and we know can be helpful to you. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm happy you stopped by. My name is Elena and I am mini steading here in the desert of New Mexico. So let me share with you some of my favorite books for homesteading. Okay, so the first few books I'm going to share are ones that I own. A few years back, I decided to leave the country, and I did so, and I was away for several years. And part of that move involves getting rid of stuff, including books. So now that I am back in the country, I am working at building up my library once more. This first book, Old Time Gardening Wisdom, I found at a sidewalk sale. A bookstore was having a sidewalk sale, and this one caught my attention. It is by Jerry Baker, Old Time Gardening Wisdom, Lessons Learned from Grandma Put's Kitchen Cupboard, Medicine Cabinet, and Garden Shed. Who wouldn't want to have this book? Jerry has written several other books based on information and wisdom from his grandma, and I was able to find him online. This book has a publishing date of 1999, so I'm pretty sure it's a safe book. I love the titles of his chapters. Here's the Scoop, Know Your Dirt. You Want Me to Eat Weeds? The Spice of Life, Herbs, and it goes on and on. But this book is full of just wisdom for treating different issues with herbs, how to build up your soil, how to put food by, just different things that he learned from his grandma. Even raised bed planting, single and double row planting, just everything you would want to know about gardening, even as a beginner, especially as a beginner. It says that he is America's master gardener, so he knows what he's talking about. One publishing company that I really trust, and I have been reading their books for decades, is the Story Company. And this is the Stories Guide to Raising Chickens. A friend gave me this book when I moved here to New Mexico, and he heard that I wanted to raise chickens. So this book is about breed selection, facilities, feeding, healthcare, managing layers and meat birds, everything about chickens and raising chickens, whether for eggs or for meat. I love the pictures, the photos in this book. Different authors author these books. Stories uses people that are experts in their field. So they have books on just about every kind of livestock that you would want. So this book has information on choosing the breed, the disposition of different fowl, the kind of shelter they would need, feed and water, etc., etc. Yeah, a lot of charts, a lot of I was going to say needed information. I guess it's not necessarily needed, but you would definitely want that information. Here are some pictures so you can see what the different layer breeds look like. Ooh, look at this guy. Orpingtons are one of my dream chickens. I don't have one, but I would like to get one in the near future. Trimming spurs. I don't know if I don't have roosters, so I probably wouldn't need that. But minimizing nitrogen loss. There's one thing that you would want to know. Frostbite, combs and waffles, all those things. How to feed, different types of feeding, whether it be tubes or stations, how to store your feed. Ooh, predators. We definitely want to know about predators. And then just routine things you need to know for taking care of your chickens. Homesteading from Scratch, Building Your Self-Sufficient Homestead Start to Finish. I picked this one up last year at Tractor Supply, and it really caught my attention too. Usually pictures is what catches my attention, but then of course I always thumb through a book before I buy it. Um, I think that Skyhorse Publishing is a self-publishing company, so if you write a book and you'd like to publish it, they can help you with that. This is a 2017 copyright book, but it has so much information. I mean, if you had to have one book, it would be something like this book, because it has what do you bring to the table? So it asks you to assess your abilities, etc. It has a chapter self-sufficiency. How self-sufficient do you want to be? And that's just one subheading in that chapter. The importance of food. Where does your food come from? Growing and producing your own food, etc., etc. How to farm, animal husbandry, record keeping and planning. I always thought record keeping was boring, and it was the last thing I wanted to do on a homestead, especially mini steading like I am. I thought it wasn't necessary. But I just finished attending an online homesteaders livestock summit, and someone spoke on record keeping, and it just changed my mind totally. So record keeping is important. Having a business plan, marketing, dairy, canning, fiber animals, fermentation, eggs, the basics of baking, children, community, everything is in this book. It's pretty comprehensive one, and of course it has pretty pictures. Yeah, what do all the labels mean? This was really interesting to me. What does organic, GMO, local, natural, cage-free, what do all those things mean? Do they mean what you think they mean? Just wanted to flip through a few pages. Animal husbandry, the basics. Meat, milk, eggs, fish, fiber, and more. Different meat breeds of animals like rabbits, chickens, goats, ducks. It gives you so many options. It's super, super helpful. And of course, here's the record keeping and planning chapter. I wasn't going to read this chapter, but now I have it tagged so I can get back to it. So homesteading from scratch. If you have a Tractor Supply near you, you can probably find it there. Anyone that's canned before is familiar with the Ball canning books, I think. Here is the Ball Canning Back to Basics, a foolproof guide to canning jams, jellies, pickles, and more. I love the Ball books because each book will give you a little bit of instruction. This one is mainly for water bath canning, so it explains that thoroughly. I love that the pictures show you what your finished product should look like. I'm looking forward to this perfect barbecue sauce, and I hope it looks exactly like that when I put it on my chicken. So there's recipes for jams and jellies and preserves, different things that you can water bath can. Red onion cranberry marmalade, doesn't that sound good? I mean, that's not something I've ever tried. Over here you have orange chili marmalade. That sounds interesting too. I love straw bale gardening, and that's why I picked up this book to share with you, because it is a wonderful guide to even though I haven't read through this book in particular, I know that Joel Karsten, the writer, has a YouTube channel called the Straw Bale Gardening Club, and I have followed him over there, and I've gotten tips from him and learned a lot about straw bale gardening as an option if you don't have a garden area. If you just have a driveway, a back patio, you can grow food in straw bales, and that's why I am sharing this book with you. There is another YouTuber. Let's see, the channel is called the 52-Week Garden, and I love his channel because he goes from, you follow him from the time he brings the straw bales in and puts them on his property, all the way to harvesting all the food that he got just from using straw bales. So I wanted to throw this one in there. Let's see. Well, I know Joel Carson, not personally, but because he's the writer of this, I'm not worried about it being something that it's going to have bad information. It's not a new book. It's 2018. So Straw Bale Solutions. Find it at your library. Next, the 7-Step Homestead, a guide to creating the backyard microfarm of your dreams. This book, I just love talking about small space gardening. It's what I am doing, even small space homesteading and what you can do in your little area. This one attracted my attention when I saw it at the library. I'm not finished reading it yet, but it has good information. And what I have been doing, it's by Story, as you can see, the Story Publishing Company. So I trust it. Let's see if I can quickly find the publishing date. It is new, you guys. It is 2023. But I am pretty sure that I can say this is not written by AI. Actually, it has the author's name, Leah M. Webb. And this is a great book, how to lay out your little garden. If you don't even have this much land to do all of this, you can do parts of it, or you can do these things, but on a smaller scale. They always have such great pictures. 1 or 2 beds. See, starting out small. I love this book. When I'm finished, I'm going to decide whether I want to buy it or not. I really would love to have it. I am a list checker offer. I love having things that tell me step 1, do this, step 2, do this. And this book reminds me of that kind of instruction where you just do things step by step. Sheet mulching. This is something I've done quite a bit in many different gardens. It's put down cardboard and then mulch on top. Okay, let's just look through a couple of other chapters. Step 2, 400 square feet. It helps you to plan things out, add annual flowers, mulching 101, seasonal garden cleanup, everything you need to know. The 7-Step Homestead. I threw this one in here, how to raise goats. I did look through it, but the purpose of me sharing this book is to let you know that the FFA also has books, and those are trusted and reliable. The FFA is the Future Farmers of America, and they have different books for different animals, and you can get their books. The ones that I've seen at my library are older books. Let's see, this one is from 2009, but it still has valuable information. A physical and behavioral overview before bringing the goats home, getting your goats, housing your goats, feeding your goats, breeding your goats, all the things. And so you know that you can trust a book that is published by the FFA. Okay, so if you want to take it a step further and just learn all the things, Back to Basics is the book for you. It's a complete guide to traditional skills. Back in the 80s, I had a book that was Back to Basics, and it's this identical to this book, but that one was it was oriented differently. For one thing, you opened it this way, and it was put out by Reader's Digest. But I don't know if they sold the rights to their book or what. But this book is the identical book, except this one is put out by the same, let's see, Sky Horse Publishing, and it has a publishing date of 2014. So it's definitely not the same people, but this book has everything that the other one had. So how to tap maple trees and make maple syrup, how to use wood, wind, and sun for energy, how to raise your own vegetables, fruit, and livestock, how everything. Let me just show you. Build your own log home, okay? That's in this book. How to convert a coal frame into a hotbed, how to build your own greenhouse. It has a chapter on quilting. It has a chapter on making your own braided rugs. I mean, all the things. There's even a chapter on making your own shoes, and of course candles and soap, etc. So if you had just one other book besides that first one, I would say you need the Back to Basics book. I got this one, I ordered it on Amazon, and I see, just looking on Google, I was able to find the other one, the Reader's Digest one, but I couldn't find a place to purchase it. Either that or I just overlooked it. This I saw also at Tractor Supply. If you don't want to do Amazon, you can get it from Tractor Supply. This stack of books is library books. The library is a great resource if you don't have the budget to buy books. If you like a book but you don't necessarily want to own it because you can easily access it from the library. If you want to check out a book thoroughly before you spend your money on it, the library is a great resource for you. So remember I mentioned the stories book, the stories publishing company, and that chicken raising book that I have. I'm just going to show you some of the other books you can get from Stories. Raising Dairy Goats, I'm actually reading this one. Raising Pigs. Raising Beef Cattle. These are not, the pigs and the cattle, they're not ones that I am reading. I mean, I have flipped through them, but it's not something that I want to implement. And then Keeping Honeybees, definitely. I'm reading this one, probably for the third or fourth time, the Stories Guide to Keeping Honeybees. Another way that you can make use of your library is by asking them to get books for you. I've done that many times in the past. There's a person there that they give that information to, and I don't know how they go about deciding which books to get, but she goes through it and decides whether or not to order that book for the library. Case in point, this book. This is Jessica's book, Jessica Soward's The First Time Homesteader, a complete beginner guide to starting and loving your new homestead. I feel like this book is mine from the library. It's the first book that I ever requested this library to get. I have only been in this area for 3 years, and so I went in and asked for this book, and so every time I want it, I just go get it, and it's always available. I don't know, are there people not homesteading in this area? Anyway, I am just so excited that I can get it anytime I want. But it is now a book that I really feel I should get, even though it's always available and I'm borrowing it all the time. I just borrow it, and when it's time to renew it, I renew it as many times as I can, and then to take it in, and then I say, does anybody want it? No? Okay, I'll take it out again. And I just keep doing that. I should buy the book, right? It is a wonderful, wonderful book. I will tell you that, I'll tell you a story about when I first found Jess on YouTube. It was in 2020, I believe, maybe early 2020. And one of the things that she said repeatedly in the videos that I watched was this expression, turn your waiting room into a classroom. And that it just hit me like a ton of bricks at that moment. That's what I was doing. I had done that. I mean, I read so many books about raising chickens, raising goats, having gardens, all the things for decades before I planted a seed. And I always felt like, oh, this is just a dream. I'm just wasting my time. But when she said that, I thought, that's what I've been doing. And so what was the benefit of that? The benefit of that was that when I finally was able to have a garden, when I finally was able to have chickens, I just jumped in. The opportunity presented itself and I could jump in. Not that I knew everything. I still had to refresh my memory and, get a few books, but I wasn't nervous, and it wasn't like, oh, now I have to learn all these things. All the information that I had read for years just came flooding back into my mind. So it was not a waste of time to turn my waiting room into a classroom. Thank you, Jess. All right, so this book, I will tell you what sold me on this book. The introduction. I mean, I already knew that I would like it because I like her and her channel. But when I read this is not meant to be an exhaustive text. Rather, it is a love letter to the homestead and a guide to getting started for the homesteader, embellished with the mistakes I've made and the lessons I've learned along the way. A love letter to the homestead. She has a way with words, but that sold me on this book. And then, of course, there's all the beautiful pictures. There's one. Okay, enough gushing over this book. This is a book that you need. And so what I wanted to mention was that YouTube is a good source of finding information that is trusted and reliable, especially people that are serious, that have been on YouTube for a while. And if they've published a book like Jess, definitely you want to get that book. If it's someone that you feel comfortable with and you trust their info, if you're following them on YouTube, why not get their book? So this was the first book that I had my library get when I moved here to New Mexico. The second book that I got was this one. I went to my library and I said, could you please get this book for me? And this book is by Dalia Monterroso, and she has the YouTube channel Welcome to Chickenlandia. And her book is Let's All Keep Chickens, the down-to-earth guide to natural practices for healthier birds and a happier world. I love her channel. I love her because she's so balanced. She's not all about do all the things naturally, and she's not all about do all the things chemical. She is just well balanced, and she feels that regardless of your budget, you can keep chickens. And she talks to you about that, and she shows you how you can do that. So this book also has beautiful, beautiful pictures. You can see that she's a very colorful person just from the cover of the book, and she has a very colorful personality as well. Okay, one more way that I want to share that you can get trusted and reliable information is online summits. We can't all go to a summit. I am just so jealous of the people at the HOA in Virginia. I wish that I could go. I live in New Mexico, and everything seems to be so far away from me. Virginia, I used to live in Virginia, but I wasn't homesteading at the time. North Carolina, they're just so far. So when I get the opportunity to do a homestead summit online, I jump on it. So last week, as I mentioned, I did one from Monday to Thursday, and I learned quite a bit. And this one I loved because it made all the information available in transcripts, so I could print everything. So when I'm done printing, I will have virtually a book from all the information that I learned there. One of the presenters was talking about treating your animals with herbs and oils. And here's something that she said. She was concerned about AI as well. And she mentioned that just as a test to see what would happen, she used AI. And I'm not sure how you do that and what she did and what she asked it to compile for her. But she said she was appalled. She said some of the information was wrong and quite a bit of it was dangerous for animals if people were to follow the advice in that publication, had she published it. So that just reinforced to me the danger of using artificial intelligence to write books that can affect lives, whether it be your own or your animals. So I would advise that you look for older books. If the books are newer, then try finding the people online. Try to see if they have an online presence so you can see that they are a person, and make your choices based on that. I want to give a big thank you to Jess for allowing us this opportunity, allowing me to share my trusted and reliable books with you. And I hope that you will come back and visit me again to see what's going on here on my mini stead. Actually, I am moving from the mini stead to a little bit bigger place, and I'm going to be taking you along on that journey. So if you're interested in food preservation, cooking healthy meals, gardening, keeping chickens, soon to be goats and bees, just the projects that I have going on here on a small scale, please join me by subscribing. I would really appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week, and I'll see you in the next video. In the meantime, go do something small.